Hey, what is up, guys? And welcome back to another Magic the Gathering online challenge. We're back with Basking Broodscale on the draw for game one. The hand looks good. We just need a green source and we'll be solid. We'll play the blade to try and set up for the turn 3. Hedge Maze, I'm afraid this is Neobrand. Nope, Riverwinder would suggest this is instead Living End. Okay. Generous Ent, we'll find another Surveil land. There's a Lush Port, okay. So yes, we just need to hit a green source. Second Ballista is not what I needed, though. I mean, if we find a green source, we equip Ballista 0, Ballista, we win, so we'll pass. I mean, if they Living End, that's fine, we're not dead. We have how many hits off the top for green sources? I mean, I think enough to make it work. 6, Sink, Shardless Agent, pretty normal stuff. Alright, green source, let's see it. Second blade is not it. This is going to be 5, 8, 13 at our face. We can cast the second blade, I suppose. I guess I can also play Ballista. I think it's better to play the blade. We'll take our beats and then go from there. If we see the green source, we win. Alright. Yep, let's take our beats. And we will draw green source. Dude! A third blade. I swear, I genuinely consider maybe cutting a blade here. But at the same time, we have, like, what? How many green sources am I on right now? Let me take a look. I just want to know at this point. Or my percentage odds of drawing into one. 2, 3, because I'll include Cavern Souls here. 4, 5, 6. 14 hits. Yeah, 14 hits off the top. We drew 4. And we whiffed. So let's see. Hyper geometric distribution calculator. I can just go. What's the one I normally use? Hyper geometric distribution calculator MTG. So Aether Hub, we had a population size start of 54. Sample size of number of cards, we'll say 4, since we had 4 draws, 14 hits, and 1 success. A 71% chance. And we whiffed. Unfortunate. We'll concede. It is what it is. Sometimes play the numbers, and sometimes the numbers play you. So this is Living End. Lost for game 1. So we want Warping Whale. We could argue Grafdiggers for Inevitable Betrayal if they go that route. Wayscape. See, I know that they've sometimes added Clarion Conqueror, so we now need Dismember. So we can cut Gemstone Caverns. Springleaf Drum good. Pit the Needle we can cut. Hayrmite we can cut. We can cut a Flesh Raker. We can cut a Rumble. I guess the question is whether or not we should cut... if we should cut Emrakul for the Betrayal. Or if we should just run the Grafdigger's Cage on the off chance that's relevant. We will see. We will see. Yes, I think we should keep it like this. Alright, on the play for game 2. We have a Rumble, we have a K Command, we have a Soul Guide Lantern. Soul Guide Lantern's relevant unless they've gone Betrayal to hit our Emrakuls, which we have one of in hand, so we'll keep this. Let's go the E-Temp in case we draw into another E-Temp for the K command on 2. Otherwise, we play the Soul Guide on 1 just to try and keep him at bay. Opponent's Tinkin. We kept our opener. What is opponent Tinkin? So yeah, we are doing 6 rounds, and I think I said X3 drop is where we're at for prizing. So if we start trending towards that route, we'll probably just close up shop early and then do another challenge or league at, or rather another league at 10. Or either that, or if it goes like right into 10, we'll just go from this stream to the next, I suppose. But Mulligan's down to 6. Let me take a look at my sideboard again. Yeah, I think we did that correctly. Also forgot to mute my phone. I'm right now the hall director on call for the weekend. Forgot to mute that because if I get a call, I'll definitely know it without having to be bombarded by a very loud ringtone. I will hold Meticulous Archive, Surveil. Keeps it on top. I'll draw Tezzeret. Okay, so Tezzeret can find our blade. Malevolent Rumble. We whiff pretty hard there. I'll go with Grove the Burn Willow so we can set up our land drop for next turn. And we will hold. We have how many types in yard? 3? Yes. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. End yard. Surveil land. So the nice thing is we can go Tezzeret, grab Vexing Bauble. There's Halfling. So yeah, Grove, Tezzeret, Subtlety, pitching Waker Waves. I am fine with that. I'll put Tezzeret on top and we'll pass. We have the Soul Guide, so the question now just becomes whether or not they go for Emrakul if they went with Betrayal. Misty Rain. Fetch. Breeding Pool Shock. Clarion Conqueror. Well, that's just rude. I can get rid of Conqueror, though, with K command. No, I can't because of the spawn being bricked. Ooh. I will exile your graveyard. And we will pass. Even Tezzeret's a dead card now. That is unfortunate. Halfling's a dead card. Ballista's a dead card. K command's not necessarily all too great either, honestly. And this Clarion Conqueror is actually going to be a bit of an issue. Maybe my best option is to cast a Lighted Halfling and hope we draw into a land next turn. That way we can get rid of Conqueror. Maybe. Because if we cast K command, goes up to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, we'd still be short. Yeah, that is a problem. 10 at most with Ballista. We play the Tezzeret. I guess we can then say 11. I will have you gain a life. And I will hold the K command X1. Worst comes to worst. Awkward, awkward, awkward. Ent, Forest, Lushport, Surveil. Riverwinder, attack for 3. I'll take it down to 16. And draw. Land Stirrings. Stirrings. There's an E-Temp, so I'm going to take the E-Temp. And then I am going to pass it back to them. And we're going to hold. I'll take the 3 on the off chance that they still try and go for a living end. And let's take a look. Down to 13, second main, casting what? Curator. Okay. End step. K command, Rampant Exile. We'll exile the Clarion Conqueror. And done. Conqueror down. And draw. E-temp. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So what I kind of want to do is this. I want to cast Tezzeret. I'm going to minus Tezzeret for Vexing Bauble. I'm going to cast Vexing Bauble. I mean, we can't attack with halflings. We'll tap the halfling. Tezzeret trigger. And then cast Emrakul. Always yield. And opponent scoops it up. Got there. I mean, it's a great example of why I like Tezzeret. Like, normally, if I just found, I don't know, what would be my replacement for Tezzeret here otherwise? A Devour of Destiny, a Writhing Chrysalis, maybe an Ugin. And I kind of go, well, those aren't doing me any good. But Tezzeret gets me Bauble, which means Subtlety's now bricked. I mean, I guess if they would have had a Subtlety, maybe they would have countered the Tezzeret, but then we would have had Emrakul regardless, so moot point. But yeah, this is why I like Tezzeret. It just adds additional layers to decks that play it, that otherwise wouldn't have the capability to necessarily, you know, get there. So we'll bring in the gemstones, and they're going to be back on the draw. Need to respond to these text messages that are coming through. Oop, not autofill. Copy, paste. We have our age just checking in. That way I know for a fact that they actually have the phone on hand, which is important. All right. So what do we cut is the question for the gemstone. I mean, they can't play. They can't play Consigned Memory, so I guess we just cut the Cavernous Souls then. It's not like they run counter magic short of Force of Negation. Force of Negation? Force of Negation. So I think that's fine. Maybe I should replace this Darksteel Citadel with another Forest. Wouldn't be a bad idea. I don't really grab it all too often with Tezzeret. It's kind of just an added bonus, but ooh. Okay, we're kind of in the same boat again. We need a green source. But if you find a green source, this hand is beautiful. I'll pass in full. Hedge Maze. And the question is whether or not I play the Blade now. I think I do. Play the Blade. Pass. They Foundation Breaker it. They Foundation Breaker it. Ridiculous Archive. Surveil. Endurance to Yard. Alright. And draw halfling. We'll hold the K command. Misty Rain. Fetch 19. Breeding Pool Shock 17. Betrayal or Living End. Agent. Cascade. Betrayal. In that case, I will cast K command and done. Glaring Fleshraker Stirrings isn't going to cut it. I really need a green source here. Well, okay, so on hand, I kind of want the Fleshraker. On one hand, I do want the Fleshraker, though. Because if I draw into a green source after, we can win pretty handedly. Then again, yeah, if we're using K command to dig deeper, the Fleshraker is needed as a finisher. So put that on top, I'll draw. I will pass in full. We'll grab an Emrakul, because that's the only really good option, honestly. It's not exactly a choice. Yeah, that's one of the things about Living End. I could just cut the Emrakul and avoid the possibility of them grabbing it, but at the same time, then we kind of take our like backup plan from us, and that's not great either. So now the question is whether or not they have a force. So they have a force. Then what? I mean, it raises the question of should we cast the K command now or not? I mean, they'll attack with Emrakul and Charlotte's Agent next turn for 15. If we find a green source, we can just win. So I will draw. Halfling, we whiff. Do we play around a green source is the question. I will say, or play around force is the question. I'll say yes. Well, no, then I don't want to cast the Fleshraker then, right? I mean, if I play the Fleshraker, then we're not K commanding, we're just hoping to draw. I mean, they would have to have the force. They'd have to have a force and a green source. Or not a green source, a blue spell in order to go for it. So maybe it is right just to send it, because if we send it and we hit, that's X equals 4. We draw the forest, we play the forest, we win. But if we whiff, then we're really in trouble. We have one more draw next turn. I can X equals 1. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to cast the Fleshraker. We're going to trigger the Blade. See if they have a subtlety to start. Because that will actually help inform some decisions. We can then X, if Fleshraker does resolve, we can X equals 1. We'll end up with 2 spawns, and we'll be able to dig 1 deep to try and find the green source. If they do subtlety this, there is a discussion of pitching Fleshraker back to bottom and drawing blind with the K command. That way, if we do find the green source, we can then play Broodscale and then go off with Emrakul, slam Emrakul into Emrakul, and then we're fine. Yeah, I think that's probably what we're going to go for. I think that might be the smartest play. The question is whether or not they hold the subtlety for, let's say, a Basking Broodscale, which is arguably the right play. Again, we have, I guess, 13 hits since we did cut the Cavernous Souls. Though I suppose also we should account for Springleaf Drum at this moment. Yeah. We should account for Springleaf, so that's 14 hits off the top. Awkward, awkward, awkward bits of variance. Because we were on the draw again. Is it going to be the same math as last time? 54, 4, 14? It was 71% chance of one or more of the wanted cards. Oof. I mean, as per usual, sometimes you play the numbers and sometimes the numbers play you. Honest Tinkendo. My only thought is that they have a subtlety in hand. And they do. The question is to subtlety the Fleshraker or to subtlety the Basking Broodscale. In my opinion, they should probably subtlety a Basking Broodscale instead of the Flesh Raker. But I don't know exactly what's going through their mind. We're gonna have 2 types in yard, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You wouldn't have enough for Emrakul's the only problem. Yeah, because if they were to subtlety the Broodscale, then what? What's our options? Wish we had a Vexing Bauble as backup. That would be nice. But we don't. Awkward, awkward, awkward. Well, opponent's tinking hard. Either that or hardly tinking. But to be fair, I also took some time to tink. So I can't really say too much here. What else are my options next turn? And again, we want a K command X1. My only thought is maybe it would have been smart to have cut the Emrakul after all. Because at least then we wouldn't have to be facing down a 13-13 across the board. Like I said, there's some give and take, and there's some risk on their part as well going Betrayal. I guess I showed my hand by playing the Emrakul though last game. Alright, we'll hold down. No attacks. They attack. I'll block with a spawn. K command, ramp and scry draw. And done. Triggers. Yeah, butter? Yeah, is that so? He's yelling outside my door. Ballista to bottom. We draw. Crafter's Cage, you're late to the party. So that's how many cards we've seen now? Actually, wait. No, we've seen more than 4. Or more than 3. We've seen, what, 2, 5, 6, 7? Yeah, we've seen 7 cards, no green sources. What the fresh hell is happening? If they play Clarion Conqueror, it's over. No. Yeah, there ain't much we can do now, I don't think. Draw. Oh, son of a... You got to be joking me. So now what? Now what do we do? I don't think we can do anything, honestly. We're not getting the benefit of Flesh Raker because the spawns are bricks. We can't equip the Blade because of the Conqueror. We can't get rid of the Conqueror since we don't have anything to get rid of it with. We can Rumble, but that's going to put us 3 mana down as a result. So even if I were to hit the perfect 4, let's say, you know, another 4 types in yard, up to 6, then we'd only have 2 left over for 8. So we can't play the Emrakul. We have no flyers, let alone one's big enough to deal with the Emrakul. Well, damn. Yeah. I mean, I don't think I weigh out. In fact, I know for a fact I don't. Yeah. Alright, we'll concede. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. Alright, well, we'll be back for match number 2. Alright, we're back for match 2 on the draw for game 1. The hand is good. I mean, if they don't have interaction, this is very solid. Rumble has backup as well. So Halfling will pass. So we could go a few directions here, right? We could go Rumble, create a spawn. Underground Mort. What deck is running Mortuary right now? I guess some Gorios. There are some versions of Living End. Matt Guy is familiar, but I can't recall as to why. Explore? Wait, what? Oh, I have bad feelings. I think this is the Ghost Quarter list. The mono green land destruction list. I want to say this is that. I almost am 1000% positive that is the case. So, based on what I remember of the deck, we just need to get Fleshraker on board here. Fleshraker on board makes sense, I think. Let's get the Fleshraker on board. We'll pass. Next turn, we should just win. Let's see if that is the case. 2, Rumble. Utopia Sprawl, Explore, Camera Souls, and a Forest, which like blends into the card behind it. It almost looks like Utopia Sprawl is like unique art for some reason. So they choose Cavern of Souls, okay. Wait, Cavern of Souls, why would you play? No, this isn't what I was thinking. What the hell is this? Cavern of Souls. Scout? Is Ice Till Explorer Scout? That'd be right? Ice Till Explorer is a Scout, I think? Maybe. That'd be my first thought. Let's check Scryfall, Spelunking. This has to be. This has to be. Yeah, so Ice Till is a Scout. Okay, so that explains that. Okay, so we should have the win now. I think we have the turn 3. Especially with a second Broodscale, Jesus. Alright, so let's start with Broodscale. Trigger. ETB, triggers, Blade, equip Blade, triggers, and we got there. Clean 2-0. Okay, so this is the, or not 2-0, but clean win. This is the mono green land destruction deck. We know that much. So we can cut our Cavern of Souls, Spelunking, Explore, Ice Till. Players can't cast spells, creature cards in graveyards and libraries, so that really doesn't help me. I think Soulless Jailer would be the main thing to help, that would stop them from recurring Ghost Quarter. Wastecape Battle Mage is going to help, so I think Dismember in. Ice Till is a 2/4? Yeah, if it was a 1/4, then we could bring in Warping Whale as well. We could still arguably bring in Warping Whale. That is a consideration, I suppose. Could counter Explore, I guess. So we cut. Vexing Bubble's not doing much. Springleaf Drum is. Lantern is. Pithy Needle's actually good here. Haywire might, I guess, can get rid of Spelunking. Yeah, I guess that's it. I don't think we really can do much else. Yeah, I think that's how we run it. Cool. First time I've actually played against this deck. Thank God I'm not on Tron. That's all I'm saying right now. Thank God for that. Ooh, interesting hand. See, on one hand, I want a Pithy Needle, Ghost Quarter. So we can Gemstone, Pithy Needle, but Dismember probably is better to deal with the Ice Till. I want K Command to ramp. I want Ancient Stirrings to dig. So I guess we get rid of Pithy Needle, because we just deal with the Ice Till then. The Pithy Needle is kind of whatever. We'll keep Gemstone. And then pitch the Pithy Needle and pass. Because now we can turn 1 Halfling, turn 1 Stirrings. We draw. Forest. I will play Stirrings to start. There's Broodscale. We do want Broodscale. We do want Fleshraker, but we have more threats than there are Broodscale, so we take the Broodscale. Any order. And then I will cast the Halfling. And then I'll pass. And pass. Alrighty. What else do we got? Blast Zone on 1. That's a bit annoying, admittedly. Explore. Do you find another land? If they don't have another land, that would be surprising. Ghost Quarter. Okay. You could Ghost Quarter my gemstone, but that's kind of inconsequential. In that case, thinking... I mean, we play the Stirrings, I think. There is Saga. Saga then allows for us to dig for Blade. We'll play the Saga. The only problem is they have the Ghost Quarter. So I think we actually have to hold the Saga, as awkward that is. Maybe I should have went for Fleshraker in retrospect. Yeah. I probably should have done that, given that I doubt Saga at all sits on board for 3 turns. It's just unlikely. Malevolent Rumble. Now they did tap the Ghost Quarter. Whiff, take the Forest? Yeah, I was about to say. Plays the Forest. And pass. Draw. Ballista. So yeah, all I need right now is the Blade. So we'll play the Saga. We now can make a mana, which is relevant. I will hold. This requires 2 or 3. 3. If that was 2 mana, that'd be so much better. So we can K command X equals what? 2, 3? 3 mana? Yeah. Let us see. Sack, and I will K command now. And X equals 3. There's the Blade. Bottom Dismember, bottom halfling, top Blade, and Resolve. They scry draw. So I mean, we have the win between Broodscale, the spawns, and Ballista. We have Dismember for the Ice Tail if needed. They also need to deal with the Saga. 3, Spelunking. 4, Beseiju. Bold Move, Cotton. ETB. Ghost Quarter, sack, target Saga. In response. Ice Till down. Okay. Yes, for Forest. And passing, and we win. Draw. Grove. Basking Broodscale. Did I not tap? I guess I didn't tap the gemstone for green. Broodscale. Blade. Equip. Sack. Always yield. Always yes. Always yield. I have Ballista. Ballista. Alright. And we will sack. And we'll have to go to 42 for 21 damage. I mean, it's fair that opponent's going to force me to have it, not just take my word for it. Thankfully, I have some rapport of some people where they will just take my word, but it's understandable that opponent here will not if they don't know me too well. But this should be a clean 2-0 win against mono green land destruction. So we're at 21. I wish there was like a way to just like put in a command, loop 42 times. That would make this so much simpler. Opponent says just show it, so I will. And one more. 14, done. And opponent scoops it up. Alright, I appreciate opponent. That makes my life much easier. So that's land destruction. Were we on the play or on the draw there? I think we were on the draw, right? We were... Yes, on the draw. Alright. Solid 2-0 win against land destruction. Thank God I was not playing Tron. That's all I will say about that. That being said, that there will be the end of match 2. We'll be back for match 3. Alright, and we're back for match 3 on the play for game 1. That's really funny. I kind of wish I was on the draw now. Okay, but I think we can make this work still. It's kind of weird, but I think I can make this work. I will keep. We need to find a Broodscale, though, is the problem. That is the only snag in this current plan. If I go Saga on 1, Gemstone on 2, Ballista on 2, and then we go for a Springleaf Drum, that would get me the green source I want. And of course we can draw into one of our 14 green sources. Flooded Strand, please don't Prismatic Ending me. Draw, there's our Karplusan. We'll play the Karplusan, and I think we will Rumble, looking for Broodscale. No Broodscale, instead I'll grab the Emrakul. So 4 types in yard, we're at 7, 8 next turn. We could make a construct off a Saga theoretically. If this is what I think it is and it's controlled, there's some argument to doing so, but give and take, I suppose. The question is whether or not they have Wrath main, but they have double blue, so they have a counter spell up. Draw. Okay, so in that case, I'm gonna float. I'm actually gonna grab Vexing Bauble. I think Vexing Bauble will help out a lot here. So let's go Vexing Bauble. I will play a Forest. I will play a Halfling or a Tezzeret. The Halfling guarantees the resolution of Tezzeret, so I kind of like that idea. Halfling. Cast Ballista X1. And we'll pass. Tune. Draw. Get some energy. And pass. And hold on the off chance it's relevant. Blue. Tune. Energy. Looking for a land, maybe. Paying cost for a Prismatic Ending. Uh-huh. Is it worth us sacking it to draw a card? If I draw into Broodscale next turn, can I win? We go Gemstone, cast Broodscale, cast Tezzeret. No, I don't think we can. I will crack the Bauble. At the same time, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I guess this is neutral, so we'll draw. Draw a card. Another Halfling. Meh. Flooded Strand. And draw. In that case, I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess we did keep that. We would have had 7. Well, we can guarantee the resolution of Tez. Yeah. So we go Tezzeret, Halfling, pass. And I think that makes the most sense. Can't be countered. Do you have a Subtlety? No Subtlety. I will minus Tez. What do we want to grab? I'm thinking Blade of the Blood Chief. We also could go Darksteel Citadel, but I'm not sure if that's necessary. So yeah, I think we go Blade. We cast Halfling. Flooded Strand, fetch for Surveil Land. Yep. Island to yard, 6 in hand, attack 1 with Ballista. And pass. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we do have Emrakul next turn, guaranteed. Gemstone Caverns. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. If I go Flesh Raker, that goes down to 11, so not enough. So in that case, Emrakul, always yield. Subtlety. Looking like it. I think they missed the second blue. Yeah, they did. They need to either filter or have tapped the... Yeah. Oh, consult the star charts. Okay, so not subtlety yet. So they might be looking for subtlety, either that or solitude. So they dig 4 deep and they pull 2. Tezzeret 0 on Ballista. Put a +1/+1 counter on it. Solitude, target, what? Imagine the Emrakul. Yeah, I was about to say. Teferi. Always yield. Go to combat, swing for 2, down to 15. They did have the salty after all, look at that. And consult. So, let's see. Draw. Double consult. I mean, I think that's probably better for me to play than, let's say, the subtlety. Well, I guess we can evoke. Yeah, so we can evoke subtlety. Pitch consult. Triggers. And evoke. Alright. We have Hollowed Fountain, Investigate Plains. We'll consult the star charts. Actually, how do you read? Put up to one. Put 1 of those cards into your hand. Put 2. Put the rest on the bottom. So we do have to put 1 is the only problem. Counterspell, Ephem, Scouting Tarn. We'll grab the Scouting Tarn. We'll play the Scouting Tarn. We'll fetch with Scouting Tarn. And do we just fail to find, or do we set up a Meticulous Archive? We're not necessarily winning right now is the thing. So, I mean, we can Meticulous Archive and at least set up. The problem with doing that is then they can cast Riddler off the top. I mean, they can do so anyways, I suppose. So yeah, let's go Archive, Trigger. See what you have on top. Counterspell. Yeah, I'll put that to grave because I kind of want this Flesh Raker to resolve. And I will pass. All right. All you, friend. Lands in hand. What you got? Two, 3, 4. What? Prismatic. So Tez down. But that's all. They have 2 lands in hand. We draw. I will play a land, cast Flesh Raker. I will cast Blade of the Bloodchief trigger. Always yield. Always yield. I will equip 2 Walking Ballista. And then attack for 4. Yeah, that seems reasonable. And pass. And pass. Unless you have a Wrath, I think I win. Yep, okay, cool, good stuff. So that is against control, win for game 1. Let's move to game 2. So they definitely play Wrath the Sky. So we do want Wayscape Battlemate, not Wayscape, sorry. Warping Whale. Thief seems reasonable. Dismember not so much, but they could play Clarion or Harbinger. I feel like most lists aren't, is the thing. Let's take a quick peek at a control list real quick. Let's view all. Let's go to Azorius control. I guess it's more Jeskai though. Yeah, I guess it's more Jeskai. Let's see. Jeskai control. No, it wasn't this one though. So maybe not Jeskai control. I guess more akin to Azorius. Even with the red splash. Yeah, Subtlety Riddler, Solitude, Teferi, Ephem. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not seeing anything that immediately stands out to me as needing Dismember. No. So no Dismember needed then. We cut, not Cavernous Souls, so Malevolent Rumble, Flesh Raker. Maybe Halfling? No, I guess we don't need Might. We do need Pithanila. We don't necessarily need Soul Guide Lantern. So got the Soul Guide, keep the Drum, Vexing Bubble, Pith. This seems good. Alright, let's run it back. On the draw for game 2. Let's see what's up. Opponent tinkin whether or not they want to play first, but of course they do. One day there will be enough of a catch-up mechanic in this game to where a deck is going to want to be on the draw. Either that or they're going to unban Golgari Grave Troll, and that'll be Dredge. That'll be Dredge's entire thing. They're always on the draw, because they're always hoping they're going to have Golgari Grave Troll. They'll draw, they'll pitch, they'll draw, they'll Dredge 6. That's their hope. But that'd be like the only deck that would ever do that. I'll keep this. I'll pass. Take this archive. Okay. And Tune TR, draw, Temple, pass. And pass. Mystigate, draw, Ancient Stirrings. Let's fire off Ancient Stirrings. You have a counterspell? No counterspell. I do have a Bauble though. Azdu has a Bauble. Play Bauble. No counterspell. So the good news is that does brick for Subtlety Solitude for right now. Plains. Pass. Draw. Play another Grove. We'll use the K command as permission. We'll hold. And draw. And end step. Now I'm gonna hope they don't force this, because I want it to go to grave at the very least. And done. Show me a counterspell, show me a consign. What say you? Really? You let me keep it. Top, draw. And draw. Karplusen. And Malevolent Rumble. Paying cost, finally. Does a force? Counterspell. Cast Delighted Halfling. And I will hold 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We can put Ballista to yard. That's 12, 13. So we do have an uncounterable Emrakul next turn, actually. Interesting. Yeah, uncounter Emrakul is good. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah. Interesting. Quantum Riddler. So they're going to warp, draw, and then Ephem. I'd imagine at least. Warp. No Ethem, really? Draw. Warp Whale's nice. So in that case, again, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Ballista for 0. Trigger, always yield. And Emrakul, always yield. Bauble protects me from Solitude. They could consign, they tune, draw a card. They could consign the trigger though. Resolves. And our turn, comrade. I do love me my Vexen Bauble. Yep, save us from the subtlety. There's Prismatic Ending, Wrath the Skies, Counterspell. Okay. Draw. So we can definitely mess up their hand a lot. So, thinking here, we can Subtlety, Pitch, Counterspell. Yeah. So, we'll start there. Exile, Counterspell, Subtlety. Trigger, Vexing Bauble. We can cast Prismatic Ending and choose Emrakul for 1. Done. Cast Prismatic Ending, target Emrakul for 1. Done. And cast Wrath the Skies for green, or for not green, white. Am I daft? Oh, I see what's happening. Filter lands. They're confusing. White. And for 0. Done. For 0. It does get rid of my spawn, admittedly, but c'est la vie. And done. No reason to play their lands, because this is, what, an island? Yeah, we don't need to play that. So leave them with an empty hand. We pass. And we pass. I guess the one upside is now they can play Riddler. Yeah, that's fine though. Draw a card. We know they have a land. I guess no, they drew 2 or 1. Cast Riddler, trigger, draws a card. No, they only drew 1. Okay. Draw. Gemstone. We play Tezzeret here. What would we get with Tezzeret? Not even sure. Springleaf, no. Blade, not really right now. I guess we could untap that Emrakul, which is kind of relevant. Down to 10, cast Tezzeret. 0, untap Emrakul, and pass. And pass. We're holding up the Warping Whale. Archive Surveil. They didn't have that before. Cartiard and passing. And draw. Blade of the Blood Chief. So in that case, I will go to combat. They have to block the Emrakul, because if they don't, they lose. So in that case, we can attack with the Halfling theoretically, but I don't think it's necessarily worth it. Because this will be 7. They have 3 left over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Emrakul attack. Goes to block, so no Solitude. Down to 3. Tezzeret minus. 4 Walking Ballista. Cast Walking Ballista for 3. Paying cost for Subtlety. Yep, that's fine. So we'll put Ballista on top. And I will pass. And pass. Did you draw into a wave? You did not. Perfect. clean one against control. I'll take it. Halfling definitely showing what it can do, making things uncounterable between Tezzeret and Emrakul. Solid, solid, solid stuff. All right, well, we'll be back for match 4. All right, and we're back for match 4 on the draw for game 1. I mean, yeah, we'll keep. I'm just missing the Basking Broodscale, right? I think that's all we're missing. Pass, draw, bobble. I will play Forest, Halfling, pass. Opponent says good luck, have fun. So next turn we do have an uncounterable Tezzeret if we want, otherwise we can Fleshraker. Try and set up sewers. Could be a number of things. We'll learn more. Draw. Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize. Probably takes the stirrings here. It'd be the easiest way for me to find a Broodscale. That would be my guess. Otherwise, you take the Fleshraker as a finisher, but we can find Ballista off of Tez, which is relevant. So I'm not sure there's a great choice here. I'd say probably Stirrings might be the best. We'll see what they do. So this is probably either it's either Murktide, Oculus. I guess it still could be Blink for an Esper Blink. So there's a lot of choices. I guess it could be Grixis Control. Maybe. Maybe. Takes the Fleshraker. Okay, that's fine. We draw. Another Tezzeret, Jesus. Getting a bit excessive now, friend. So in that case, I'm going to Saga, trigger. I will cast Vexing Bauble, so they can't force. And then Stirrings. I mean, there's another Blade of the Blood Chief. I'm going to grab the Darksteel Citadels. We are missing a land drop for next turn. Go Darksteel. Any order. Go to combat. Down to 16. And we'll pass in full. So at least this way, they don't have access to Subtlety. They don't have access to Solitude if this is, let's say, Goryo's. They don't have access to Force. Riddler, do you have an Ephem? I don't... Oh, okay. So it looks like maybe Esper Blink. So we do now protect ourselves from Solitude, which is relevant. Draw. Trigger. Citadel. So now the question is, do we cast the Tezzeret? Or do I just make a construct? It might just be right to make a construct here, because we cast Tezzeret, we untap, but then that's kind of it. And then Riddler's going to hit Tezzeret. Yeah. Should probably just hold. So in that case, we'll hold the Saga. Again, we're just missing a Broodscale. No attacks. Yeah, so I'm thinking this is probably Esper Blink between the Riddler plus Ephem would be my guesstimation. With the Saga trigger next turn, what do I grab? I guess Blade? Probably. They don't Ephem the Riddler, really? That's a bit more surprising. Frog resolves. We could Needle Frog. That actually is a genuine consideration. Take the 4 down to 16. End step. Make a construct. It's a 3/3. We draw. Trigger. Halfling. make a construct. They have no reason to assume that I'm going to Needle Frog. They can't Solitude. I don't think they have instant speed removal in white. This should just resolve. I'll play a halfling. We'll play the forest. And time to go for Needle. Needle name. Psychic Frog. Psychic Frog. I can spell. So Psychic Frog offline. Cast Halfling. Cast Karplusan. And swing for 5. Down to 9. And 2 Felia. Well, that's just effing rude. Because now Felia can flicker a construct off the board, which is annoying. Paying cost for Overlord of the Bailmerk. I mean, I guess they could just Bailmerk instead. Pick up a Flicker Wisp, I'd imagine. I guess that's actually the only option. Plays a Bog, Flicker Wisp the Overlord. And then Felia can flicker the construct. Because rude. I guess maybe I should have left the other halfling up in retrospect, because then we could have double blocked the Felia. I'll block the frog. So no draws for you. You can't pitch with the frog, don't try. Flicker Wisp, ETB, Overlord finds Solitude, which we have protection with Bauble, admittedly. Draw, Rumble. So we could Tezzeret. We could grab another artifact, so that way we do have lethal under the construct. I'm gonna start with Rumble. There's Emrakul. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We are short. Tezzeret. We could 0 on the construct, make it a 5/5. It's gonna get blinked anyways. So I think I will 0 on the construct. Go to combat. Swing for 5. Trades the Overlord. I'm A-okay with that. And we pass. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Pitch. You should phase change before playing anything else, because if you play anything else... Because now I'm tempted to Bauble Crack, but no. We'll hold. Oh, am I just dead? I think I'm just dead. Oh, yeah, never mind. 4, 5, 6, 7. I think opponent forgot an important factor here. I think we both forgot how to count. Because 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. Yeah. we both forgot how to count there. That's funny. Push 7 types, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So now I need a specifically I need a temple off top for the Emrakul. Felia Flicker Wisp. Flicker Wisp Bog. So Emrakul's offline, yeah. But it's not until until my end step. Yeah, no. That didn't work the way I wanted it to. Draw. Oh, no shot? No shot? No sneeze is sad. Let me be smart. Emrakul? Always yield? Our turn, comrade? You can't Solitude because of Bobble? Flicker Wisp? Ball comes in, but a little bit too late. Exiles my yard. There's Solitude, there's Felia, there's Emperor Bones. I think we might have to get rid of the Emperor Bones. So let me draw. There's Marsh Flats, main. Okay, so how do you want to proceed here? We can Emperor Bones, but we can't actually get rid of it because Solitude will get countered the Bobble. Right. We can Felia, though, flicker the Vexing Bobble, which will open it up. So then we can cast the Bones. We can evoke the Solitude, exiling the Bones. I guess they don't have double black, though. So they can Bones, but they can't do anything else. Because I definitely want to Solitude something off their board. The Bones isn't as much of a concern. Interesting. So it might be better to... We could also Felia... So we have a lot of options here. Because we can Felia, Flicker, Flicker Wisp. Flicker Wisp comes in. We then blink, I don't know, Riddler. They then don't have Riddler until their next end step. So Riddler would be off board. Felia would be dead. Then they have Frog, Flicker Wisp, Bog, which we can block. We can Solitude Pitch Felia. We can Marsh Flats. Fetch, Surveil. But not a black Surveil. That's the important part. Because then Emperor Bones. Otherwise, I can Felia, Flicker, Vexing Bobble, Solitude, Pitch Felia, eat Riddler, eat Felia. That would still lead the Emperor Bones. So it's kind of like neutral one way or another, right? I could do that. Interesting. Another option would be Felia, Flicker the Needle, name Frog, or Flicker the Needle. Frog can then pitch the Emperor Bones, but then that kind of gains some value. Okay, so at the very least, I think Felia attack is a yes. We either Flicker Wisp or that. Go to combat. Attack with Felia. Felia, Flicker the Bobble. Yes, let's do that. Flicker the Bobble. Go to blocks. Block the Felia, Felia down. Second main, we evoke Pitch Felia, Solitude ETBs, trigger target Quantum Riddler. Riddler down, evoke, triggers. So Riddler down, we play the Marsh Flats, we fetch with the Marsh Flats, trigger down to 9. We have no Surveil lands that I can grab, so we just say no. Done. We don't play the Emperor Bones. Bobble will come back in. Felia trigger. Bobble back in, and then pass. Do we win? even if they Emperor Bones. No, I mean, if they Emperor Bones, actually, they might just win. That one's a bit rough if you have the black source. Did you draw it? If you did, I think we lose. Emperor Bones eats. That doesn't matter. Eats Felia. Again, that doesn't matter because you don't have a black source. So you can't bring the Felia in. We block. I take 4. I win. You have no way to interact with the Emrakul right now. Play the Temple. Go to combat. Swing. Block. Take 12. And we got there. Whew. Okay, that was a bit of a close one. I'll be real. All right. Well, we're going to sideboard. And we'll hold. My mechanical keyboard is much louder than my my laptops, especially with my long nails. Need to trim them, to be fair. Okay, so Wayscape Battlemage seems relevant. Dismember seems relevant. Warping Whale seems relevant. Cavernous Souls, it is Esper, so that is kind of relevant. Vaccine Bobble, yes. Springleaf, yes. Soul Guide, kind of meh. Pith Needle, yes. Haywarmite, no. We can cut Fleshraker, cut Rumble, but then we still are left with 3 over. I can cut what? We want Dismember for Clarion Conqueror. We want Warping Whale for... Actually, do they play Warping Whale? Let's see. Let's take a look at, I guess, Esper mid-range. Wrath of Skies, not many copies, to be fair, but some. Interesting. In addition to that, if I'm looking at this right, where's Orzhov? There we go. They do run the Clarion Conqueror, though. 2 Wraths. Yeah, I guess we cut some number of halfling. Guess do it like this. Yeah, maybe that's right. Maybe cut 2. We can cut down on 1 land, like maybe the Darksteel Citadel. Don't really like that too much. Pith Needle seems right. Bobble seems right. Wayscape, Whale, Dismember. That all seems correct. So yeah, we'll run it like this. Oh, that's scary. Opponent just said Mark. For those who don't know, I am Giltspire. Mark, aka Giltspire. Yep. So I like, wait, do you know me from online? How are, like, you're using Mark instead of Gilt? I'm somewhat concerned. Oh, all right. I'm just missing the Broodscale. We'll keep. Glad to make the YouTube, hopefully. All right. Okay, so there, it's from YouTube. I had a little bit of a heart attack when someone says my real name and not Giltspire. I'm like, oh god, who is this? All right, we'll go go halfling off the bat. We have the blade, but we need to be careful of a Witch Blessed. Ooh, Temple's good as well, especially with halfling here. We'll pass. So we can Cake Man X2 next turn. We can also Rumble. Depends what they play. If they go for Frog, we'll K command it off the bat. Alright. Watery Grave Shock, 17 frog. Oh no, no frog. Overlord. There's Flicker Wisp or Felia. Imagine they take the Flicker Wisp. Yeah. Ooh, take the Felia. Interesting. Draw. Temple. In that case, I think it's better for me to rumble here, actually. We did whiff on the Broodscale, though. I'll take a Temple. And I will hold K command for one on the off chance that's relevant. Thoughtseize takes the K command. We have redundancy otherwise. I'm gonna ramp Scrydraw here. Kinda rude. Done. Saga top draw. And pass. So they'll probably take a Blade, I'd imagine. Only issue is now Felia. If they have another land, it's going to be uncontested. We wanted that K command for it. Takes the Halfling, Gala Shrine, Shock. Makes sense to me. Overlord and draw. Rip. So in that case, I'll play the Saga. No reason to play the Blade. Though I guess, you know what? I will play a Blade. There's some method to the madness here. This way, if they attack with Felia, excuse me, and flicker the Overlord, we can sack the spawn, and we can block the Felia. That seems relevant. Attack, flicker what? Imagine the Overlord. Yes. Trigger resolves. And go to blocks. Block. Before damage. Sack. Trigger. Always yield. Phase change. Trigger. It's a 3/4 to the frog. Another Overlord. Overlord trigger grabs another Felia. Let's see. Felia, Flicker Wisp chooses Felia. So they have another Felia. That's annoying. And then Overlord. Yeah, not much I can do there. So we pass on full. We can make a construct, grab the Witch Enchanter, I imagine. Yep, so now they can pop the Blade. Springleaf Drum, trigger Saga. I will play the E-Temp. Any reason to play the Springleaf Drum right now? Probably not. I don't think. Well, at the same time, the construct gets bigger. Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. 1, 2, 3. Blade would be 4. I think they have the Felia. Don't like that. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I guess we'll just keep it like this. No attacks. Felia. And pass and hold. I guess they could play the Witch Blessed now, try and pop the Saga. And make a construct. Pop Saga. And Felia attacked. Do you flicker the Overlord or flicker my construct? Flicker Witch Enchanter. Okay, I mean, you pop the construct. You pick up a Flicker Wisp. Picks up the Flicker Wisp. Go to blocks. We block. No reason to block with a Halfling. trigger. Oh, I guess actually it would have been better to block the halfling, because now you can pop the blade, and it pops my construct as well in retrospect. Yeah, it made a misplay there, admittedly. Yeah, because state-based action, right. Escape Battle Mage, kick Overlord. Blade, equip. Yeah, so he should have played that a bit better, admittedly. Halfling beatdown. Because, yeah, this should have been a 5/6 instead, realistically. Bit of a misplay on my part. I should have blocked the halfling. 2, 3. If they have a Wrath, we're in deep trouble. Also, I swear if I lose this game by 1 point, that would be rough. Would be rather rough. What we thinking, opponent? You don't have lethal on board. Would we have lethal otherwise? No. Relic. Draw. Exiles a card. I will exile Blade. Because we already have the Ballista in there. Not like I can get the Blade back. Yep, I'm gonna exile Yards instead anyways. Draw a card. We do have to worry about our friend Solitude. Yep. And they sequence that correctly. And then Ephem, the Wastegate. Yep. We'll pass in full. And then Relic. I only have 1 card in hand, which is interesting. See, everything would have been dead regardless. Grove. We'll play the Grove. We'll pass. We'll pass. Witch Blast pops the Blade. Yeah. That's unfortunate. 1, 2. I guess they'll Relic anyways. Flicker Wisp flickers the Overlord. Things are looking grim. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. K command would be nice. K command would be really nice, actually. Draw. Also, what would they pick up? Emperor Bones. There's Bauble. Bauble, you're a bit late to the party, friend. I will pass 3, 5, 8, 13 down to 3. We're likely gonna have to pop the Bauble for a redraw. Marsh Flats. Guess maybe I should have played the Forest in empty hand. Tis a Frog. Tis a Bones, right. Oh, actually they can win, can't they? Yeah, they can definitely win. Oh, interesting. They chose not to. Because, yeah, they could have grabbed Ketra. They could have then adapted. That would have been 3, 5, 8, 13, 17. Yeah? Yeah. Over the Bailmerk. More Solitudes. Man, I kind of don't want to crack the Bauble, but, like, I don't think I have a choice. Pop Bauble, draw a card. Ancient Stirrings, not it. We'll take the 13. There's Ketra. Relic target, eats the Bauble, Ketra trigger, and draw. Flesh Rake won't cut it. Stirrings. Emrakul. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Won't cut it. Wastegate Battle Mage. We can exile. We can bounce. I guess bounce the Ketra. They still have 3 in the air. Not to mention, even if I have 3 blockers. Yeah, I don't think that is going to work. I'll concede. So we won game 1, lost game 2. We will cut the gemstone, which allows me... Was I playing 63? Hold up. I guess I did accidentally. Whoops. Not sure it mattered too much, but whoops. Because I guess I was meaning to cut another halfling. Whoops. Alright, well, let's run it back like this. Alright, on the play for game 3. I'll keep. We're looking for a land here off the stirrings. Ideally a soul land would be nice, but any land would be a positive thing. Yeah, 4 hits for temple, but again, any land would be good. Forest, stirrings, show me temple. There's a Darksteel Citadel, we'll take that. We'll pass. And pass. At least that way it's a color source. Marsh Flats, pass, draw, Grove. They know about this Citadel, but they don't know about the Grove, so we'll play this. No reason to play the Blade right now, so I'll hold the Warping Whale. And hold. So I am tempted to Warping Whale for a spawn, because they just hold their lands. Yeah, so they're priming for a Ophelia. End step. Warping Whale. Create a token. Draw. Blade. Grove. Hold. Show me the Ophelia. Fetch Marsh Flats. And... come on. You know you want to cast it. Solitude. Rude. Bitch is prismatic. Float. You suck. Because it's main and not end, we can phase change. So that case, holding the K command doesn't do what I want to. Instead, I'll play the Flesh Raker. That's annoying. Cast the Blade. Trigger. Always yield. Always yield. This is mana neutral, so I'm going to do this as well. Trigger. Blade. Always yield. Another Solitude pitching Felia. Okay. This is the thing we're doing now. Triggers, always yield, and we'll pass. Do you have another Felia? No. I mean, that's pretty aggressive. I'll take it, though, because that means no Felia. Overlord of the Bailmerk, as expected. Picks up Solitude. Yep. Watergrave Shock for Thoughtseize? No. Probably for a Consign would be my guess. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is mana neutral unless I play it now. I fear the Consign. I will cast Springleaf. Because it's mana neutral, so there's no reason for me not to. We'll hold the X2. Depends on what they play. Relic. Relic, eat, Warping Whale. As an instant, we have the K command. Okay, so if they were to counter X1, I mean, they still have the relic, so casting this Emrakul is going to be difficult. Let's be real. I mean, if they have a consign in hand, though. 1, 2, 3. We don't have anything that we're playing permission. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we'll just hold. Wastscape. Okay. So we're assuming they're playing consign, right? I kind of want to get rid of this Overload of Baelmerk. So maybe we hold the Wastscape and use the K command as permission. Okay, that's what we're going to do. We're going to use the K command as permission. Not to mention they have Ophelia. We can exile Ophelia. Draw. End step. End step. Trigger. K command. And done. X equals 2. We're not going to sack the spawn. Do you have consign? Exile, draw. We're trying to bait the consign. We do bait the consign. Trigger resolves. Draw. Another blade. I will kick. Overlord. Overlord down. I will tap, equip, and pass. And hold. Land, Gala Shrine, shock. So now we're worried about a Solitude. Draw. Stirrings. Cast Stirrings. E-Temp. Cast E-Temp. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I will equip. We'll hold the blade. We'll go to combat. Swing for 2. Let's see the Solitude. There's Solitude. Solitude will eat the Wastscape as expected. Wasn't much we can do about that. We'll pass and hold. Hmm. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pass. Take 3 down to 21. They go up to 16. They have 1 card in hand. Draw. Oh. Hello. Broodscale? Equip. Equip. Sack. Triggers. Always yes, always yield. So we have 3. 3, 6, so 9, 10, 11, 12. I think we need one more. Yeah, one more. Emrakul. Emrakul, always yield. This should do it as well. Floodstrand, fetch. Surveil. Set up their top deck. Ephem. Yeah, they don't want the Ephem. And I guess we just hold at this point. And hold. Shadowy Backstreet. We can surveil. We draw. Overload the Baelmerk. So I can do what? I want to overload the Baelmerk, impend. trigger, mill. I don't want any of that, so I'm going to say no. Shouty Backstreet, trigger. Polluted Delta top, go to combat. Attack with Solitude into Emrakul, and we got there. GG's. All right, not bad at all. I did misplay there. I will admit that. I actually could have won on my turn if I hadn't sacked my spawn, instead Springleaf Drum and adapted first. The reason there being is I would have then been able to transfer the blades over to the spawn that was untapped and to attack in. So I did make a tiny misplay there. So my bad on that, but be able to get there in the end, thankfully. I would have kicked myself in the next century if I hadn't. But we're now locked in with 3 wins, which means that if we win our 2 more, we lock in top 8, and if we win just 1 more, then we at least lock in top 16. So good stuff. Pretty happy. With that said, we'll be back for match number 5. All right, we're back for match 5 on the play for game 1. I mean, all we're missing here is a Broodscale. I will keep, I guess, a Broodscale and a payoff. Like, Tezzeret can get us Blade, but then we still need a payoff in the end. Tezzeret can get us a payoff, but not necessarily. We need 1 more artifact for that. Yeah. Which, honestly, isn't too much to ask for, but still. Still. Opponent may have been away from the keyboard, so we'll pause real quick once they have returned. All right, and our opponent's back. Let's play Grove, Halfling, and pass. And pass. Let's see what our opponent's on. Well, we're playing opponent. We could Rumble next turn, or we can Tezzeret. Tezzeret allows us to grab Blade, and then the following turn ramps us into Halfling. From what I can gather, it seems like they may have been on Tron, which is going to be interesting given that a Karn does break us pretty hard in game 1. Game 2, we have access to Thief, which is good, though we do have Pithy Needle main, which is very relevant in this matchup then. Well, there's Lab, so it's Eldrazi something. Sire, yeah, probably Tron. Mindstone, definitely Tron. Ooh, okay, dumping your hand here, friend. Draw. Now, we could Beseiju the... Okay, so hear me out. If they are on colorless, they may not have any basics. They may not have any basics other than Waste. And Waste cannot be grabbed off Beseiju. It's really tempting. Really tempting. Interesting. I am thinking that we go Rumble. Well, I guess we go Tezzeret. We can play Halfling. Yeah, actually, I think that's right. So Karplusan. Tezzeret. 0. Untap. Wait. I'm dumb. Never mind. I had thoughts, and thoughts both entered and exited my brain simultaneously. We'll attack for 1. We'll pass. Because I can't make green off of Halfling. I can make colors. I can make green for Legends, but not. This is not. The good news is we can still grab Blade, so it's a bit of a moot point, but we could have had an extra mana next turn. So if you draw into Broodscale, for example, might be a bit rough. Cracking Map, okay, that's promising. tower. Plays tower, I imagine. If that's all they do for the turn, I'm okay with that. Casting. Casting what? Mindstone. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5. We could set them back 1. Map. Draw. Stirrings. Cast Stirrings. There's Broodscale. Okay. So now we can cast Broodscale, we can cast Blade, but we can't then go off. So in that case, we have choices to make. We could Beseiju Lab. Not sure if that's relevant. I think we Rumble at the very least. So let's start with a Rumble. There's Blade. There's Fleshraker. I will grab a Fleshraker. Gemstone Cavern. Untap Halfling. Cast Fleshrake. Pass. And pass. Okay. I mean, unless they have Karn, we should just about win, methinks. Because that's our win condition. Power plant. Okay, you have Tron next turn. Do I care about that, though? It all depends on what you have in your hand. If you have a K command, big sad. If you have a Karn, we might be able to play through it. If you have anything else, I don't think I care. Yeah. Unless you're on Tezzeret, in which case you can grab Needle. That would be a bit sucky. But yeah, if you have Karn, we can deal with that right now. Interesting. Yeah, I definitely should have minus for Tez earlier. Because if we are at 1, 2, 3... What's this? What's this? K command? Seems like K command X3 for Fleshrake. Yeah. Alright, I mean, it's not hitting the Broodscale, so that's good news. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we are short. They can't... Okay, Rumble again. So in that case, I will cast Rumble once more. There's Blade, there's Fleshrake. We want Blade because this should win us the game. Because now we can play Beseiju. We can cast the Broodscale. Oh, does it win us the game? No. I think we're still short 1. And we have the Blade. Broodscale, cast, equip. But then we don't have a payoff is the problem. What can we do then? Cast, equip. Yeah, we'd have to untap you. So we had played you earlier. Yeah, definitely botched this one. The question is now if they have... They scried 0 to the top, 3 to the bottom, fresh draw. They can crack map, have enough for Tron. I'm going to do this. I'm going to Tezzeret minus. I'm grabbing Pithy Needle. Yeah? Well, actually, hold the phone. If I go Broodscale, equip. No, we can't do it that way. Broodscale, equip, no. Okay, so in that case, yeah, I think we go Pithy Needle. I guess I could also go Haywire Might, but Pithy Needle might make more sense. So I go Pithy Needle. I'm going to cast Pithy Needle. Name Expedition map. No more map for you. They're not allowed. So map is offline. Trigger Tezzeret. I'm going to cast a halfling. I'm going to cast a blade. Trigger Tezzeret and pass. Okay, so we're set up for the win next turn. I definitely think I could have gotten it earlier, but we botched it. So hopefully that doesn't hurt us too much. So this is Eldrazi Tron. So no map for you. You have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. That's fine. They would need another K command in order to deal with the Broodscale. Because they just play anything else, it doesn't matter. It's the K command or bust. Pain cost. 2. Seems like a K command. Fleshraker, that's fine. Power plant, that's fine. Karn? Thought not. Ah, you suck. That sucks. We can still have some fun, though. We still have 3 Broodscales out of 41. So I have ideas here. I have ideas. We draw. Ooh, second Tezzeret. Okay. So we will minus the first Tezzeret. Bleh. I'm going to grab Walking Ballista. I am going to cast Ballista for what? 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 equip. 2 equip. We could just do 1 Tezzeret 0. We could do that. So we do it like this. 1. Yeah, we'll do it like this. Ballista for 1. Oh, I guess I should have played Tezzeret first. Damn. I'm botching this right now. I don't know why. Equip. Tezzeret 0. And then target. You sack. Doesn't really matter one way or another. Trigger, always yield. Damage, sack, trigger. And actually, I guess because of the trigger I can't. We'll ping, and we'll ping. Fleshraker down, trigger, and pass. So Fleshrake offline, and we hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Begin combat at Tez. I will block with the Ballista. Again, if I had played Tez first, then it would have been at 1 at least. So I wouldn't have had to block. But this is fine because we can still pick up another Ballista if needed. We pass. Second main, casting. I guess you could cast Sire at this point. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, you could cast Sire. That seems to be what you're going to do. Which means if I draw into a Broodscale, we win. Yeah? Yeah. Draw. Haywarmite. So we can minus Tezzeret for another Walking Ballista. We can cast Walking Ballista. We will want to equip. I guess we can play the Might as well. So done, trigger, equip, and Might trigger, and pass, and hold. paying cost for what? Dismember main. I will ping you once. And you once. Trigger blade, ballista out. Dismember. You attack me, attack Tez. Attack me of Sire, attack me of TKS, I imagine. Crack the Mind Stone, draw a card. Crack the Mind Stone, draw a card. Find a power plant. And Tez down 4 at me. Yes. Yeah, that TKS really hurt. But me also just, I've been playing sloppy for some reason. And cost for Flesh Rake. Draw. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Of course, we are short. Right, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So yeah, 2 short. Do we have a creature in yard? Yeah, Ballista, right? In that case, I suppose I equip Blade to Halfling. And pass. And hold. I mean, you can Haywire Might, block the TKS, sack it, and then eat the map, I suppose. So right now what I need is a E-temp off the top. Or a Broodscale. Broodscale would work as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, equip, yeah. Broodscale would work. Opponent. Flesh Rake is a problem. Triggers. Down to 11. Sire gets in. Yeah, that is problematic. Oh, I don't know why you attacked all. That's a mistake. Go to blocks. We block. We block. We then Besage you. Halfling target map. Triggers. So we'll go up to 13, paying cost. Warping Whale. Eating the halfling. Well, son of a... Yeah, not much I can do about that, unfortunately. The Warping Whale will get me. So they're not on Tezzeret, which is good to know. This does mean we're off of the Emrakul. And also I think no, we're at 2 now. Okay. We're at 2. Eat the map. Down the 2. So I think my only options then are Broodscale, maybe a Rumble. Draw. What do we hit? Comes down to this. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 11. We'll concede. Yeah, no, I played that really sloppily. I don't know what's up. I made snap decisions with like the Tezzeret when I shouldn't have, because I was like, oh, I can play Tezzeret, then untap Halfling, then play Halfling. Nope, Halfling does not make green. That's not an option. We should have minus for Blade and then untapped Halfling to ramp. So that was on me. So let's see. We will cut Gemstone. We'll cut Bauble. We'll cut Soul Guide. Keep Needle. We could cut Might. Maybe. Damp Spheres in. Dismembers in. Thief in. Cut Fleshlight. Cut Rumble. Do we need Might? I mean, if they Needle, then yes. Another reason why I might even consider not Flash Rake, a Wasescape. So maybe cut a Halfling or cut a Emrakul. Yeah, that or cut a Thief, I suppose. But Thief is good for Karn. We'll cut a Halfling, run it back. Alright, on the play for game 2. Let's play a bit tighter, shall we? I'll keep this. I'll go Halfling on 1. We do need to find lands, but if we do, we're in a good spot. Devour, trigger on their upkeep. We will pass in full and pass in full. Let's see what they exile. Yeah, I'm going to chalk my spaciness to a long day and a lot of magic. Right now, eight matches in, even though I've only recorded 5. There's the map. We will draw. There's a Saga. Saga trigger. Cast Tezzeret minus Tezzeret. We'll grab a Blade of the Blood Chief. Oh, there's a temptation to grab Darksteel Citadel. But if I, once again, Blade. Yeah, I think we grab Blade, because we find a Broodscale, I think we win. I will pass. I imagine they play a Tron land. Possibly. Interesting. Lab Imprint Devourer. So they might be holding up removal? Potentially. Paying cost for what? Disruptor Flute, naming Blade of the Blood Chief. Well, that's why we do have the Haywire Might. That makes sense. Trigger. There's Drum. So, let's see. Drum is mana neutral. We'll play the Halfling. Well, if I do that, if I play Halfling, then I don't have the mana required for Saga, do I? I guess we'd have to Saga on our turn. Because yeah, we play the Halfling, we play the Springleaf, we untap of Tezzeret. Okay, yeah, I guess that works. So let's start with the Halfling, cast it. I will then tap Halfling for Springleaf, trigger Tezzeret, always yield. I will tap Halfling, Tezzeret 0 for Halfling, Halfling for Saga trigger. So we now get a construct and we pass. And we pass. So we can always go Tezzeret for Might, or we can go through Saga that way. So we have options. We have options. Then we can just beat face with a construct. Crack map. Finds what? I mean, they didn't have to play Lab for Flute, so they must not have Tron. Tower, though. Okay. And what? Mindstone? Another Flute for another Blade? I guess they could go for Tezzeret. That is an option. Name's Tezzeret. Okay. So in that case, we'll draw, trigger, make a construct. And I will grab a Haywire Mite. Trigger Tez. I will Ancient Stirrings. For a K command or Glaring Flesh Rake. Well, I definitely can't play Flesh Rake right now. K command would let me fill my yard a bit deeper for Emrakul. That is tempting. I think I'll go the K command. And then I will cast Blade of the Bloodchief by tapping the Construct. Oh, I can't. Right. Right. In that case, we'll just go to combat. Swing for 4. Down to 16. You can always Might. The question is, do we Might for Tezzeret or Might for Blade? Depends, I suppose. You know, if I had gone for Tezzeret, maybe. Because Tezzeret's close to ulting for an additional 3 power on board. That is something to consider. Thing is, we can't play the Blade. So we are just on the beatdown plan right now. And the Might's the only way we get through artifacts. So if they play a Karn and we don't have the ability to go underneath the bridge, then we're in trouble. I could TKS. No, it's a K command. I guess they're determining what they want to exile. They could exile Construct. Then Scry Draw, that will resolve. It shrinks my Construct. A bit annoying, but not the end of the world. Mine, so you now have Tron. Go to end step. I'll Springleaf Drum, tap for green, sack, and get rid of Flute. And draw. Of course. Alright, well, in that case, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a counter onto the construct. Now, let's do this. 1, 2, not Broodscale, Walking Ballista. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're a bit short on casting the Blade to trigger the Tez again, though. 5, 6, 7, 8. So in that case, we could 1, 2, 3. This needs 4. I could what? I guess we could K command X1. That is an option. Otherwise, I can just play the Broodscale. Cast Broodscale, untap the Ballista, or make a up the Construct. We'll just up the Construct for now, and then go to combat, swing for 4, and hold. So again, we're just trying to beat them down. Right now they have access to 9 mana. If they cast a bridge, we can get underneath of it pretty cleanly. Fleshraker resolves. If you play Karn, it's a -1, so it really costs 3 mana instead of 4. Map trigger, it's mana neutral. They haven't played a land for turn, so it's actually going to be map is mana positive by 1, because then they can crack for another tower. Yep. Tower, play tower, that leaves them with 6, 7 mana. Do you have a Cyrus 7 deaths is the question. I guess instead of the Haywire Might, I really should have just waited the draw first. Because then we might. We get rid of Flute. We then would have had 1, 2, 3, 4 mana. Could have played the Blade, could have played the Broodscale. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Opponent's tapping still. TKS. I mean, this yields. And until the turn. ETB trigger. The question is now to get rid of the Emrakul or the K command. 1, 2, 3. Because we can dismember the TKS, draw a card. If I can play the Blade, I can alt Tez. Takes Dismember, paying cost 4, upwards of 4. Karn. Okay. Karn resolves. Karn minus for what? 5, 6, 7, 8. 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We only have 4 mana though. Because now they've locked up my Springleaf. Again, we can grow the construct up to an 8/8 for next turn. But the thing is, Karn can minus for what? An EE? And clear my zeros. Because they can put that in for free, get a spawn. Yeah, maybe I should have ballisted the spawn, theoretically. Yeah, I'm definitely playing this match a bit sloppily. Leveler for next turn. Not too worried about that, to be honest. End step draw. Temple. Temple's perfect here, actually. Goes 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're short 1. Unfortunately. Yeah, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Right? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Technically we would have been at 12. K command's mana neutral, but not worth. We can cast the Blade. If we cast the Blade for 4. Blade triggers. Triggers Tezzeret. Which will then allow us to start putting counters on artifacts I control. I'll 0 the Tez, or 7 the Tez. We get an emblem. We can now go to combat. Tez on, let's say, the Ballista. Make it a 4/4. Always yield. So now even our artifacts that don't have as much value can start making value. Should have typed the Broodscale as well. Damn. Then again, it eats the TKS. I'm not sure that's great. Or gets eaten by the TKS. Block. Block. And trade triggers. Draw Thief. Okay, so we have Thief for next turn then. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I will hold. I will hold. We have Thief for next turn. We know you have a Leveler. That's fine. Karn -4 what? 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Yeah, definitely should have attacked the Broodscale. Would have been my thought. Again, kind of feels a bit rough. Ballista. So we're trying to wrap up next turn, basically. But doing so ignores... Wait, what are you doing here? Is that enough? For 7? No, it's not enough. I mean, I guess you can ping down my board. Interesting choices. Yeah, you can definitely ping down my board. So 2-up Broodscale. Blade, yep. Oh, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now I'm gonna be short. Yeah. Alright, fair is fair. But why not just go for a Tormod script at that point? Weird. Trigger. Attack for 2. They might forget about Tezzeret's ult, where he can make the Spring Leaf or the Blade into a threat. Draw. Another Tezzeret. I think I will K command exile the Ballista. Get that off the board now. Done. Ballista deals me a damage. Makes a spawn. We then go to combat. We'll make the Springleaf Drum a 3/3. We then go to attack Karn. Karn will be down. They have the Cityscape Leveler in hand. Karn down, we pass. We hold. We can block the Flesh Rake if needed. We can also eat the Disruptor Flute if needed. Map trigger. Down to 9. Crack map. It's a +1. Paying cost for Leveler. Another Karn. Ugh. Down to 8. Do you have another Ballista? Oh, shoot. They don't need another Ballista. I exiled the damn thing. Yeah, they win. Oh, no. Oh, Metamorph? Flesh Raker. Is that enough to kill me? Trigger down to 7. They could have went with Ballista, I think. Eight, 9, 10, 11, 12. Triggers. Puts me down to 3. So I'm not dead yet. Blade pops the construct. Blade triggers. Flesh Raker triggers. And then 2 more down to 1. The funny thing is they could have done... I'm trying to think here. So we have to block. We block. Trigger. Draw. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I can thief the Karn. Does that do enough? I don't think so. Because we thief the Karn. I actually can't thief the Karn because I can't make green because the Karplusan will kill me. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That one spawn would have been what I needed. Damn. Yeah, that's unfortunate. The second Karn got me there. To be fair, I should have died to not the Phyrexian Metamorph, but to the Walking Ballista I exiled earlier. So yeah, I can't Thief. I can't Emrakul. We can attempt attacking, but it's not going to matter, even with the Tezzeret ult. I don't see a way out. Yeah, unfortunately, again, I played sloppily this match. I was not all too focused. Definitely could have played this better. Like, even making the decision to might the flute for Tezzeret, I should have waited till I drew, so that way we could have tried to draw into the Broodscale, which we did, to then Broodscale for the win. But we did not, and it cost us. Again, we only have 4. We don't have the ability to tap anything. And the Karn bricked me there. Tezzeret doesn't do anything. We can go to combat, but that doesn't do anything, I don't think. We already have an artifact in yard, so it's not like we can get another type in yard either. Tezzeret on blade. Combat all at Karn. They'll get blocked. Block and block. Yep. Again, doesn't add any types to yard. Blade triggers, doesn't do anything though. 4 or 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Again, we can't do anything. Yep, we'll concede. Alright. Is what it is. If I play sloppily, I end up losing. That's kind of how it works. Don't exactly have an excuse for that. I might be tired, might not be focused, but 'tis no excuse for bad gameplay. Should be doing better. C'est la vie. If we forced the game 3-2, the funny part is that we definitely would have won on time. Not the best way to win, but I'll take a win when we can take a win. So we're likely out of top 8 contention, I think. But, let's see. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. There should be like 3 or 4 X2s. But at the very least, we want to win our next one so we can make top 16 and at least get prizing that way. But that being said, we will be back for match number 6. All right, we're back for match number 6 on the draw for game 1. Let's center ourselves, try and focus in. Might be a bit difficult as I'm definitely feeling my energy levels plummet. But will just be something that I'll have to get used to as I am both recording and streaming simultaneously. I think I mentioned it earlier that we played like 8 matches already, even though we're only 5 matches into the challenge. Because one thing that if you are here for the live stream as I'm live recording, do get the benefit of is me playing league matches in between the challenges. But we'll keep this. I will pass. I would like a green source with this Rumble, but the Saga can't help with that. Looks like it is a mirror match, so we need to be mindful of that. Cavern of Souls. I might go Saga here so we can go for a whatchamacallit. A Springleaf Drum. Might be right. So we do have to watch out for... Oh, interesting. Wooded Foothills. So this might be the lab version. 2, Rumble, Broodscale. Yikes. That's a problem. Uh-huh. So... if they find Blade, they might just win here. 1, 2, 3, 4. They still would need 2. So they aren't there yet if they find a Blade, but it's gonna be pretty close. Yeah. Okay. They find a Flesh Rake, so there's a finisher. We'll pass. I will hold. Trigger. There's a forest. So, I mean, I suppose we can go for our own win condition and go Rumble. Either that we go Flesh Rake first. Let's go Rumble. Try and find the Broodscale. There's Blade. We don't want that. I guess I'll grab the E-Temp instead. We could go Emrakul, but I'm not sure if that's good enough right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'd have 10 mana for next turn, which isn't bad, but ain't great either. Like I said, we can grab the Blade next turn off the draw. So let's go Emrakul. Think that might make more sense here. 5 types in yard. 1, 2, 3. No, 3 types. 3 types in yard. I will pass. We have the K command. If they play Flesh Rake, play Blade. I mean, now they're looking for Blade. Yeah. There's Flesh Rake. Do you have the Blade? If you have the Blade, you have the win. Yep. Yeah, there's nothing we can do about that. Yeah, we'll concede. All right. Yeah, I knew that was a possibility. Okay, so we want Wastegate Battle Mage. We want Dismember. We'll cut the Gemstone, keep the Haywarmite, keep the Pithy Needle, keep the Soul Guide, cut the Vexing Bauble, cut Flesh Rake, Rumble, and I suppose cut a Halfling. And run it back like this. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I had any other outs there. I don't think I did. Because we were short on the K command X2, which is what I really needed. Unfortunate. Alright. On the play for game 2, I will keep. We're looking for Blade. Carplucin, Halfling, pass. And pass. Temple. And pass, draw, Cavern of Souls. Name Eldrazi. We have a K command X1. I will hold. If we can find the Blade off the K command, we'll have the win next turn. Because we only need 2, 4, and spawn, yeah. And Flesh Rake. Alright, 4 hits off top. K command. And done. Rumble, top, and draw. And draw. Another Ballista. Green, colorless. Rumble. There's drum, there's temple. I'll grab the temple. Play the temple, and I think we'll just time walk them here. So blue, colorless, colorless. Time walk the flesh rake and pass. That way, if they have the Broodscale blade and green source, they don't just win outright. We'll hold. Plays a forest, so they had the green source. And flesh rake, and draw. K command. We'll hold the K command. I will play Besage You in that case. Go to combat, swing for 2. And hold. Cavern Souls, name Eldrazi. You have the blade, you have the Broodscale. Drum, trigger. I won't be able to do much about that at any point, so that will always yield. And I'll manually hold this. Always yield. ETBs. And passing. Attack. I will block. I will K command. Actually, do I K command? No, I'll just hold. Probably should just let it through, honestly. End step. K command. Four instead of 5. There's Tezzeret, there's Flesh Rake, there's Stirring. So there's a lot I want here. I mean, we want Tezzeret for Blade. So I think we bottom, top, and draw. And draw. So let's start with Flesh Rake. Tezzeret. So trigger. What this? K command? I mean, if you tap down, I'm okay with this. That's an X equals 4. Because we have 2 ballistas as backup. You exile, you ramp. Not much to do about that. So now the question is if they have removal. Down to 11. Tezzeret ETBs, we minus. We grab for Blade of the Blood Chief. We cast for Broodscale. Does Broodscale resolve? Does Blade resolve? Tezzeret triggers. I mean, I imagine you have more removal. I'd imagine. Keywords. Equip. Always yield. Otherwise, that's pretty aggressive, the K command. I should have kept the Ancient Stirrings. I guess no, we couldn't have kept the Ancient Stirrings because we're going to dig with the Tezzeret. Yeah. Trigger. I mean, if you have the removal, now's the time to use it. Whether it be K command or Dismember. Okay, there you go. But, wait. Blade. Blade's already equipped. Flesh Rake trigger. Yeah, they messed up there because they needed to do that before the blade was equipped. Yeah, they messed up. All right, we'll take it. So we want the gemstone back in, so we'll cut the halfling and run it back. Oh, I guess I could have cut the Cavern of Souls. All right, we're looking for Broodscale. We'll pass in full. And draw Springleaf. I will go with... Let's go with Saga or Forest. Tempted to go for Saga so we can dig a bit deeper. Potentially go for Needle if necessary. Saga trigger. Springleaf Drum. And pass. That way we ramp next turn when we go Forest Rumble. And then we can cast the Blade after. Stomping Grounds tapped and pass. Grove, 2, Rumble. I imagine they pick up the Wasescape for the Saga. That'd be my guess. It would be a bit unfortunate, admittedly. Because it does set me back a land. The Springleaf will help make up for that. Yep, there's the Wasescape as expected. Draw, trigger. We would have to bank on them not having another land. I think it's probably right to play Forest, Rumble, Broodscale, and let's see, how do we want to proceed? We can cast the Broodscale. We don't want to cast the Blade because the Wasescape will eat it, but that might not be a bad thing. In that case, actually, let's do this. Tap you, play Blade, and pass. Because now we basically have 2 Blades on board. They can Wasescape, but that might not be enough. They know about the Broodscale. So they could try and hold up removal. So here comes the Wasescape. What does it eat? Saga. Okay, makes sense because it cuts me short on mana. The thing is now, they would specifically need a Dismember. Grove. Cast the Broodscale. Do you have Dismember, is the question. Equip, sack, trigger, always yield, always yes, always yield. Tezzeret, minus, Walking Ballista, and that presents lethal. So we go up to 40. And GG's. Okay, we got it. I have no idea what my tiebreakers look like. So I genuinely don't know if we are in contention for top 8. We at the very least with the X2 should lock in top 16. If we had won our last one, we may have been able to lock in top 8, but like I said, we played pretty sloppily. But we at least were able to get the X2, which I'm happy about. The deck's performing well, irregardless of its pilot. So that's good news. But that being said, we'll take a quick pause, and after that, we will either be back for quarterfinals or for the wrap-up. We'll be back shortly. All right, and we're back for the wrap-up. We did not make top 8. Looking at my tiebreakers at the end of the round, from the beginning of the round, we were at the bottom of the X2 bracket, so it was very unlikely, but hey, we wanted to check just in case. Our opponent actually from round 5, Rentaro, did make it in. So, I mean, if we had won, maybe would have gotten there. It's hard to say because, of course, our round 6 pairing would have been different. So, hard to say, but regardless, pretty happy with the 4-2 record at the end of 6. The deck performed well, regardless of its pilot. As I was talking on stream, our main, I think, decision-making or, determining factors living in Game 3, keeping the Emrakul versus cutting it. I still think it may have been right to keep it, just because it is one of our best backup plans into a Clarion Conqueror board. And then, of course, there was Eldrazi Tron, which really analyzing and digging deep on that, like the root cause, was I just wasn't taking care of myself. And I think this is a good conversation piece for like competitive play in general. Make sure you take time to take care of yourself between rounds, because I did not. And while I'm not going to use it as an excuse, I will attribute my mental state, which was not early all there, to me not taking a break, getting some food, getting some drink, and just kind of taking a moment to breathe between, me having a long day at work, me streaming, which at that point had been, that match was our 8th match in a row with very little downtime. Definitely did not help. And I think that's a good lesson to learn, not just for me, but for other people who are aspiring to get to RCs, to PTs, that your day is going to be long. You're starting at like 9, 10 o'clock. You're going to be playing 9, 10 rounds of Magic, and by the end, the mental drain is there, especially if you're playing a combo deck or like a really thought-intensive deck, thinking Amulet Titan, Lotus Field. Hell, even Basking Broodscale has a lot of, variants and lines. Or if you're like me and you're like, okay, I'm going to play my opponent's deck theoretically, and here's what they could draw, and so on and so forth, right? So what's important to take away there is take care of yourself between rounds, because by doing so, you'll end up with better results and you won't be making silly mistakes like I did. So there's that. If we're kind of looking nitty gritty at the Eldrazi Tron matchup, the main things to really look at there, I untapped Halfling when I should have minus Tezzeret for Blade. In game 1 and game 2, I should have waited to draw before activating Haywire Might, because then we would have been able to get rid of the Disruptor Flute, which then would have allowed us to play the Blade and the Broodscale, and I think I had Ballistas at that point to then go off. So mistakes were made there, but I think the underlying root cause of that was I just wasn't taking care of myself between rounds. So lesson learned for me, lesson that I should already know, but a good reminder, especially as I am practicing for the RC in November. But that being said, there's the wrap up. Still really happy with the deck. Really happy with Tezzeret. Tezzeret showed time and time again that it does have a place in this deck, as it can just out of nowhere grab Blade, grab Ballista, grab the piece you need, or worst comes to worst, kind of grind out the game with its ultimate. There are definitely those options as well. But with that being said, that there will be the end of today's video. As always, if you did enjoy it, please do consider hitting the like button. Comment down below if you did see any lines that I missed, any mistakes that I made, or any general feedback would be much appreciated For as much that I hope you all learn from me and both my success and failures, I hope I can learn from you all as well. Last but not least, if you have reached a point in the video and haven't already, please do consider hitting the subscribe button as we're getting closer and closer to our next goal of 1,000 subscribers. In fact, we are, I believe, 13, 16, something like that away. Hold on, let me take a look. We are exactly, it's loading, 13 away. We're 13 subscribers away. So if you haven't already, please, please, please subscribe. If you have already subscribed, ask a friend. Maybe shoot my link in a Discord and say, hey, let's get this person to 1,000. It'd be much appreciated. Obviously, don't be obnoxious about it, please. But all the support possible really is appreciated, because once we hit 1,000, we'll start monetizing these videos, which will allow me to keep on doing more and more Magic the Gathering content, and more importantly, pay off my fancy new streaming PC, which has allowed me to start streaming live on Twitch, which this video was recorded live over on Twitch. If you did not make the stream, you actually did miss out on a little bit of content. In between rounds, I was playing league matches, so you get some league matches thrown in as well that will not be uploaded to YouTube. Those are going to be special and unique for stream when we're playing challenges and we have time between rounds. So something to think about. That way you might want to stop on by over to my Twitch. With that being said, I will be live when this comes out. I'll be live. It depends. I'm going to say I'll be live at 8 p.m. CST, 5 hours from when this video releases for the nightly Saturday night challenge. Unless I absolutely go off in the showcase challenge earlier in the morning. We'll have to wait and see. Either ways, head over to my Discord. That's the easiest way to get notified when either I go live, when videos go up, or if I decide I'm not streaming that night. Regardless, it would be really appreciated if you do subscribe. Like I said, it does support me monetarily, or will. And then, of course, over on my Patreon, you can support monetarily as well, where you can get early access to my YouTube videos. With that being said, though, folks, I will see y'all next time. Bye-bye.